Hello, and welcome to Papa Hector's Spiritual Podcast. So, today's episode is called Beware of Ravenous Wolves in Sheep's Clothing. They said it would happen, and here we are, false prophets. So, as always, make sure that you subscribe to us on iTunes, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Anchor.fm, Stitcher, or Spotify. As well, you can also find me on YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, or hectorsalva.com. And look us up, connect with us, get all the latest updates on our newsletter, which you can subscribe to at hectorsalva.com. So, today's topic: beware of ravenous wolves in sheep's clothing, false prophets. Now, I want to start this off with a little bit of a story here. I know a number of individuals that are out there. I'm not connected with them, but I know them, that are out there doing spiritual work or spiritually, quote unquote, teaching or helping others who themselves are invested with negative entities and negative energies, and therefore are not in a position to lead anyone else. However, they are, and they're also out here doing magic and spiritual work for other people. Although that is not something that they should be doing, because it's causing layers of ripple effects of problems for individuals. Right now, people are starting to become a little bit more woke, and they're needing guidance and support and the teachings that are necessary in order to progress. And as this need is growing more and more and more, more and more false prophets, ravenous wolves in sheep's clothing, are taking advantage of this. Some of them are taking advantage of it for ego, some of it for financial gain, others for emotional gain, but they are abounding more and more and more. There are many false prophets out there, including those that would teach you incompletely, teach you things that work partially but incompletely, such as things that could only help you partially but not all the way. There's a lot of this going on, with various supposed therapies and motivational speakers and supposed healers and coaches springing up all over the place. But many of these individuals do not encompass or walk in an integrated fashion, be the totality of what they present. And many of these individuals are dealing with many negative issues that they themselves cannot resolve. And although motivational speeches, motivational talks, and other such ideas exist and they can be helpful, oftentimes they can just go in and mask suppress or repress the actual problems and delay things actually getting resolved. Aside from that, there's many people out here who shouldn't be doing spiritual work for others. Like I said, I know 3 individuals. One is infested with negative spirits. Another one suffers from constant negative energies and the bleeding through of negative energies. And the last person is just not in good health, mentally, emotionally, and physically. And yet they're providing spiritual work for others. And what they're doing is that they're effing themselves and they're effing other people. They're messing you up and they're messing themselves up. At times what they may do may or may not work. Sometimes if it works, it may be causing more problems upon the person who did it. And it may not work. And if it does or doesn't work, either way, it may or may not also create a mess in your life. There's many false guides out here right now, people who are teaching things who are not in a position to teach it because they do not embody the teachings. If you cannot embody the teaching, you're not in a point of giving the teaching to others. To be able to pass on a teaching requires a certain amount of embodiment of that teaching. So if you're not embodying that teaching, you're not going to be able to pass that teaching, that wisdom, and that healing that comes through that onto the next individual. Now, in what I'm saying, I'm not saying that people who are meant to teach or lead are not going to deal with various issues. However, they're going to embody the healing, they're going to embody the teaching, they're going to embody what they do, and it's going to be resolvable. And they're going to find solution and resolution to what they're dealing with. So, many false prophets are taking notice, are realizing that there's an opportunity here to take advantage of people, unfortunately. And believe it or not, I would say that there's about just as much a 50-50 drive between ego and other benefits, like financial benefits and other things. Many people think that false prophets arise because of money, or that it's just people that want to make money, so on and so forth, but that's not true. The truth is that I see just as many false prophets that are coming about due to the ego, due to wanting to be seen as leading many people, wanting to have followers, wanting recognition, wanting love that they're not receiving in other areas of their life. Individuals who are being driven by instabilities within their being, within their foundations, and their spiritual work. And this ends up being one of the catches, because a lot of people will say, oh, well, that person can't be a false prophet because they're not in it for the money. They're in it to help people. Okay? The truth is You are a vessel or a channel for the help. You help by being a channel or a vessel for the help. But if you're not fixing things so that you can be a proper vessel, channel, do your job properly, you're not helping. And if you're messed up yourself and you're not resolving, then you're not resolving, and you're not resolving for yourself, and you're not providing the best healing and help for the next individual you claim to be helping. And many individuals doing such may not be driven by finances, but may be driven by the belief that they are helping people, or all the other things that come along that they're gaining from that ego boost that they are a healer or that they are helping someone. So a lot of times people put trust into people that may seem like they're quote unquote not doing it for the money, and so therefore they must not be a false prophet. That's not true. There's so much ego drive behind it. There's many false prophets out who are not doing it for the money at all, but doing it to have recognition, fame, followers, love, and many other things that are received by the ego from being in the position of helping others. And many times they're effing other people and they're effing themselves, because by not knowing what they are doing and not doing things properly, they make problems drag out, they make issues drag on, they make life worse, they can have ripple effects into other areas of your life. They can actually end up adding negative energy into your life. Very recently, actually, I had someone who came in and they were telling me, and I knew exactly what was going to happen, that basically they were dealing with someone who was basically following a certain teacher. And that teacher was a false prophet. And the false prophet, upon meeting my people, my God child, immediately what happens is that person becomes uncomfortable. That person becomes irritated. The masks start to fall off. It starts to pierce through the sheepskin, and the wolf, the ravenous wolf that was really underneath, started to come out and shine through. Because when you're really doing your spiritual work and you're on the path of light and you're really bringing forward the light, things that are in the darkness come out. They get shown to you, and they get shown to other people around you. They start to become seen. They can't hide. And this teacher, guru, started to show their ravenous claws and teeth. And even the students of this teacher started to finally start to see it. And see that this individual actually wasn't embodying the principles of the work that they claimed to teach. And just through the light being there, through my godchild, through the light being there with my godchild, that started to pull out the beast inside the false prophet. And my gosh, how just being as polite as can be and continuing to be as polite as can be and doing what we do, how we do, moving with things. Just being there started to bring that mask and that clothing, that false sheep's clothing out and off. And that'll happen. That can and does happen, and I've seen it all the time, and it's happened with me, where that starts to fall away. And unfortunately, it's going to take some time for the students of this person, if they're able, of this false prophet, if they're able to disentangle themselves, to resolve and get back on a good track. But there is going to be a period of problems and disentanglement and issues. And not only is that going to happen, but they're going to have to decide to keep on the spiritual path and find a cleaner journey. And start to walk a path and receive that which is clean. Clean knowledge, clean teachings from a place, a teacher that embodies, a guru that embodies what's being taught. But in this day and age, this is easier said than done. This is easier to say it than to do it, because there are so many false prophets. And there are so many false prophets to the point that they're so false that they don't even know how little it is that they know. So they don't even know how little it is that they know. And they don't even understand that that little bit, that tiny little bit that they know, they believe it to be totality. They don't understand how little that they actually do know. So you have people who think that they know. And that also represents how little it is that they actually know. They don't even know how little it is that they do know. They don't even come to understand how vast the spiritual world really is, and how many true secrets there are there that really have to be unraveled. And with the little that they know, they believe they know it all. And they know so little that they don't even know that they don't know. And that what they do know is not even a drop of sand, not even a speck of sand on the beach of what is the realm of the spirit. And there are many false prophets out here, okay, who may not fully even comprehend how much harm or damage that they are even doing. They may be intending to do good, but there's many things in life you've intended to do right or good and still messed it up anyway. There's many areas in life where you intended that, and that wasn't the outcome. And later on you can see that that's not what the outcome was. So right now, that there's a huge call, need, and desire by people to grow and to wake up spiritually. There's tons and tons of people professing to be able to get you there. But in all truth, there are very few and becoming fewer still. And those of us that exist are not going to be in the majority. Because just as the Bible said, the false prophets will attain many, and they will attain the multitudes quickly. They will have the multitudes quickly. So not only do they come with the sheep's clothing, but they're able to entertain and pull in the multitudes quickly because they are false. So there's many things to look for when you're looking for a teacher and really learning the spiritual path. And there are very few qualified master teachers out here to teach you. So I end this with buyer beware. They said, all the teachers, all the great teachers have always said it, of these statements that I brought up today. And here we are. And as society is attempting to progress, and as people are moving further in this time where they're trying to wake up, and they're trying to realize their truths, is coming up more and more and more. So be very much aware who you're receiving help from, where you're getting it, and so on and so forth. So that's my advice to everyone here. Many blessings to you. God bless you today and for always. And make sure that you subscribe here on Apple iTunes, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Anchor.fm, Stitcher, Spotify. Look me up, Hector Salva, Papa Hector. You'll find me. You can also find me on YouTube, Instagram, Facebook. But the best place to find me is at hectorsalva.com, HectorSalva.com, where you'll find everything. So, plus you can sign up to the newsletter and get all this stuff with the ASAPness. So, many blessings to all of you and keep the faith.